Oh, 300 yards straight down the middle. I'm in Liverpool today, having a nice little round of golf with God. Look at this.
For me, Trent's the best in the world at what he does. My next protocol is getting back in as a head coach, as a manager. I don't think it'll be easy. I genuinely think Liverpool will win it. Steady on, Ben. Steady on, Ben.
Yes, mate. How are you, pal? You okay?
How are you, buddy? Okay?
Yeah, lovely.
Good to see you, mate. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me down, mate. This
Pleasure,
is absolutely beautiful.
It's God's country, isn't it?
It is God's country, mate. It's very, very nice. You're a 7 handicap, same as me.
Yes.
So we're going to play a scratch, yeah?
Sounds about right, doesn't it?
Tenner?
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
You got your money on me, though,
I was going to go more, but if you want to do that, yeah. But yeah, I'm happy with that. And also, I should get shot because I haven't played for a while. Don't get the excuses in.
I like this. And you got a bad back?
Bad back, and I've got to carry my club. Yeah, don't worry. Come on, we'll go scratch, mate.
All the excuses.
Right, good luck, pal. I think we should add the fact that you've been here for 2 hours before me as well. On the.
Right, I'm going. Shut up. Stop getting in my head. Oh, I tell you what, I've only got a pipe to one on the first tee shot.
Great shot, great shot.
Cheers,
Oh, that's smoke coming from and everything, that one, isn't it? I'll take that, to be fair.
Yeah, safe as houses.
It's probably 20 minutes behind yours.
It's a long way in, but it's safe as houses at least anyway.
I'll take that. I'm happy with that, to be fair.
Right, Robbie, Liverpool, top of the league, top of the Champions League, still in the League Cup, still in the FA Cup. The quadruple then, yeah?
I think that's the perfect scenario. I think, last year they were probably in the same boat, weren't they? Obviously, Jurgen's last year. And obviously faltered towards the end. So, some people maybe thought he maybe overachieved last year. Obviously, winning the League Cup, done well in the Champions League, done well in the FA Cup. And I think this year it is the same, isn't it? There seems a little bit more togetherness is probably the wrong word, but the club seems more united. And I don't know if that's because Jurgen's gone and they know they need to sort of stick together that a little bit more, don't they? But they've been brilliant this year.
Has it surprised you?
You know what? I think it probably has, to be fair. I think a new manager comes in and everything really changes. And this is what I like about Arne Slot, actually. The simple fact is that he's come in, he's playing a different way to what Jurgen is. So Jurgen, heavy metal football, he spoke about that himself, didn't he? But obviously Arne's, he's a bit more methodical in his approach. And he's playing his team with the team that Jurgen built with his players. So you give him a little bit of credit for coaching his new remit into the players. Do
you think he's improved players as well? Because there's certain players in that team who I think have gotten better this season. Your Mo Salahs, your Gravenbachs.
Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk looks like he's back to his old best as well.
Look, of course you can. I think with football, and because you've been in the game a long time, I think a manager comes in and it's certain habits or certain ways he approaches the game. How you speak to people is a big thing. I'm obviously a coach, and my remit, if you like, is all about creating a great environment. If you've got a great environment, then I think the players sort of enjoy coming into training, they enjoy being a part of what you're trying to make. And I think that's what Arne Slot's done, to be fair. So the players look comfortable, the players look relaxed. I'm not saying they weren't relaxed under Jurgen, but they do look more rounded, I think.
Do you think everybody knows their job role? Because like you say, with Jurgen Klopp, it is a bit more heavy metal football.
Yes.
A bit more, not scattergun, but a bit more hectic. Whereas with Arne, it's a bit more, no, you stay in there, don't get too excited.
Yeah, and I think with Jurgen last year, Jurgen was, it was gung-ho in terms of how he approached the game. And it was, look, you keep going 90 minutes, and we'll try and force mistakes out of the team. And really it leaves you a little bit vulnerable and a little bit, open to that vulnerability at the back, doesn't it? But with Arne, so he's come in there, he's gone, look, I want you to play this way. I want you to play the way I want to play. But we still need to have a little bit more composure at the back, more methodical in terms of how, I don't even know where my ball is, mate.
You're just over here, mate. Oh, there you go, I can see it.
So a little bit more sort of organised in terms of they're waiting for teams to make mistakes now,
Yeah.
as opposed to Liverpool making mistakes and sort of getting caught out. And I do like it, and I think it's brilliant. The fact is that he's been here, you know, for half a season now, and it's great for the club, isn't it?
Beautiful, mate.
Oh, I'm sitting up well there.
Absolutely
Look at
cooking, mate. Mate, you're cooking then, sweet as a nut. That's what I mean. Look at it. So we can actually see sun today. There's sun out today.
that. Can you talk on my backswing? Hey, I'm
Never.
all right. You know, I can handle that.
Tell you what, mate.
Didn't even see that.
A little bit short.
I've heard that before, to be honest.
Oh, man. Right, we've got to talk about the big three out of contract in the summer, Robbie.
Yeah.
A lot of changing stories every day. Do you think all three are going to stay? Do you think one or two are going to go?
You know what? I mean, I think it's relatively poor for the likes of these players to sort of be in this position. You know, certainly the club that likes of Liverpool. You know, we know what they are. You know, we always like to get the business done early doors, and this for some reason hasn't materialised. I've got a sneaky feeling one of them now, in everyone's eyes, it's probably maybe Trent. It's no inside information, but you know what? I do have a little theory actually, and I don't know if this is so far from the truth. I just think two of them have signed already. You know,
Yeah.
for some reason, and maybe one hasn't. But a simple fact is the club can't come out and say yous have signed because it makes the other one look worse.
Yeah.
And I think there's a possibility that may have happened. And I do. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Or-
I know what you mean, yeah.
And because I think if two of them sign and then they come out and say, "Oh, we've signed them," and it puts so much pressure on the other one, doesn't it?
What's it going to be like for Trent if he does leave? What kind of reaction or reception would he get from the community, from Liverpool fans?
I mean, I don't think it'll be good in all fairness. I think us playing the game, I think we'd obviously respect and appreciate what he's done for the club. And I know I think people will respect and appreciate, obviously, but I think he will take a little bit of stick.
Is it different for somebody that's from Liverpool? Because I think Liverpool fans expect everybody to be like a Jamie Carragher. You're born into the community,
Yeah.
it should be in your heart, should be in your blood, you should be there for the rest of your career.
Yeah, and I get that as well, but I mean, I look at it from a different point of view now because I've played, and obviously I've been local. I'd love to have played my career at Liverpool all the time and finished my career there, but it's not to be, is it? But this is where the loyalty comes into it. Loyalty is a two-way street, and not too many people say anything other about the club.
Yeah.
So the minute you're deemed not good enough, and we've all been at clubs where we don't fancy you, but you've got to go. But obviously, because Trent's there and obviously the club want him to stay, they think he should be entirely up to him to...
What do you think it is about the move to Real Madrid? What do you think is enticing Trent?
I mean, I think it's Real Madrid. You know, and look, I know Real Madrid are interested, but look, you know, we all talk and say, oh, he can do this, he can do that. And of course, Trent's his own man, he can do that. But I mean, Real Madrid are unbelievable, aren't they? I mean, there's something about the name for Real Madrid.
It's got a big aura about it, hasn't it?
Haven't they? They have. And I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, when I was a kid, I'm obviously a little bit older than you, but I used to love. I think it used to be called a program on the UK called Midweek Sports Special, and every Wednesday there was like an international game. It was Real Madrid or Barcelona, and I used to love watching Real Madrid then. And I understand people's love for Real Madrid. I understand people's like clamour for, you know, these are the best team in the world. I mean, I've been lucky enough to see Real Madrid in finals, you know, obviously against Liverpool games, and there is something about that club, and you can see why people do want to go there.
Do you think if that's the move that he does make, then Trent is thinking he gets to really just show his the parts of his game that he's best at, basically? Because there's lots said about his defending, but at Real Madrid, he's going to be able to attack more, isn't he?
I mean, for me, Trent's the best in the world at what he does. I know people moan and criticise defending, but I'm yet to see anyone better. Yeah. In all honesty, I think that is a modern trait and a modern sort of trait for players. It is offensively, you know, even fullbacks. You know, their offensive abilities are like, I mean, they're brilliant, aren't they? With Trent, look, he's won everything. So I think that will be the narrative he goes down. You know, I've won everything. You know, my boy, I've wanted to do this. I've won the Premier League, won the Champions League. I've won everything, and I just want to try everything. But if he comes out and he's honest, then I think the fans would probably appreciate it a little bit more. Yeah. And if it's the last minute, then
it leaves a sour taste, doesn't it?
It doesn't really sit. I mean, you've had an unbelievable shot here, mate. I don't know where you are, but
I'm at the side of the green. I'm putting for eagle here, mate.
What is it, a bin lid? Normally a bin lid, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm happy with that, to be fair. It's winter greens, isn't it? So I'd say what? That, yeah?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Anything in that, gimme?
Yeah. I mean, it's raced on a touch, and it looks all right, that.
Just outside the bin lid, isn't it? It's just outside the bin lid.
But you've, I mean, I think I've got to hold this.
I think so too, mate. This 10 is staying in my pocket today.
Yeah, well, I can't give you a just yet, Ben, can I? I had to go for it, mate, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I don't mind that. I don't mind that one little bit.
Go on, mate, I'll give you that, because I think...
Yeah, we happy with that?
Yeah.
So, it doesn't matter, it's match play, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's 1-0 to me, yeah?
Yep, 1-up, mate, yeah. Thank you.
Pleasure.
I'm actually happy with that, though, to be fair.
Yeah, solid start, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, mate, 1-up. Before we go to the second hole, Mo Salah. How impressive is this guy as a goal scorer?
I mean, his whole game is incredible, isn't it? I think I don't think anyone would have envisaged when he came to the club the amount of numbers and we're big into data now, aren't we, in terms of how we look at players. His numbers are incredible. You know, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes I look at him and think, I don't know how he does it. Yeah. Because at times he doesn't look unbelievably clean. He doesn't look technically unbelievable, but then he'll do something out of the extraordinary. You think, wow. I mean, I don't know how he does it sometimes. And I look at him and think, you know what a player.
Do you know what you just said is exactly true as well. I think people look at the stats and numbers and say, oh, he must be an unbelievable technical player. But he's not technically the best, is he?
No, he's not. But you can't really, I know we're on the television now, but you really can't come out and criticise him for that because of his numbers are unbelievable. I think you look at his last few games and you look at him, if you were, I mean, an alien and you just come down off, you know, you look at this player and you think he's one of the best in the world, you go, no chance. But then you think, wow.
His output.
He is incredible. I love watching him, to be honest. I love players who get you on the edge of your seat. You know, and he is like, he typifies and he is that player. You know, he is that player who will, you know, something will happen, and he might not be brilliant for 89 minutes, but he'll come up with like a moment of magic that is close to perfection. And I do love watching him. I think I mean, it'll be a sad day if he doesn't sign a contract. It really will be, because the club will have to spend an absolute fortune to replace him.
Do you know what it is? I don't know how to explain this, right? But do you know when he starts running with the ball into the box? It's like, it's a magnet on his foot, right? And it doesn't go away from his foot. No matter what he does, whether it hits his shin or hits doesn't matter. It stays right where he wants it to be so that he can get a shot off. It's incredible.
It is incredible. And you look at him and I used to think, well, how was he doing it? I mean, for one, he's so strong, you know, for his physique and his stature. You know, you look at him with his top off and, I mean, we all get excited, don't we?
It's sickening, isn't it?
I mean, I've never had one of them, to be fair. And then, you know, you look at him, the speed and the strength of probably what makes him, and he's obviously got other elements to his game, or other facets, but the speed and the strength, I think, scares players coming up against him. And I love watching him. I mean, we can sort of sit and analyse sort of why he does it and, you know, I mean, how he cuts inside and shoots and scores goals. You know, all day long we can do that. But I love watching him. You know, I genuinely do. I think he's brilliant. That's a player.
It's a 9-iron for me, that is, Robbie. Right, come on then.
Oh, it's a great shot.
That is right at it, by the way.
Short. Just short of the pin. Just short of the pin. It's a great shot, that.
Cheers, mate. I'll tell you what, that's going to run up there as well.
I'll take that. That was a good bad one, I think.
It's just good golf is what it is.
Wasn't the cleanest, a bit like Mo Salah. Wasn't the cleanest, but effective.
Unbelievably effective. One player you've been in the press about a bit lately, actually, getting a bit of grief for what you said, Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, look, I think with Darwin, I think... I mean, I never want to criticise him, and I wouldn't do that because everyone who puts on a Liverpool shirt, I respect them anyway, you know, and I want them to do well, and I'll absolutely back them. But it becomes a point where you have to say the truth, don't you, in terms of his game is is different now to what it was when he was at Benfica.
Yeah.
You know, he was scoring goals, he was an handful, and it's different playing for Benfica in Portugal and playing for Liverpool in the Premier League. You know the Premier League's totally different. Expectation levels playing for Liverpool's totally different. At times, I think he has struggled. And look, I'm not having a go at him because I think, for one, I think he will score goals and he will be an handful. But you probably need more, you know, playing for Liverpool. And he hasn't achieved the heights what maybe a lot of fans and a lot of pundits sort of wanted for him. Doesn't mean he's a bad player. It just means that, you know, he might be better suited for another club. You know, a Liverpool number 9 should be scoring goals. You know, I've always thought that. I've always looked at that. So I'm not criticising him as a player. He will score goals. He will be an handful, but I just don't think he'll score goals to the level that you'd expect from a Liverpool number 9. And look, if people think that's having a go at him, then so be it. But we're saying the same things now that what we said maybe 3 years ago when he first came. Oh, he's raw and it'll come through. You know, you look at the manager he played under, certainly for Liverpool. You know, obviously Jurgen Klopp brought him in as a number 9, and even Jurgen never really played him down the centre that much. In all fairness, Arne Slot's not played him down the centre that much, so that really tells you something else. And not really many people sort of delved into that. But I don't think he's a bad player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's okay, but he might be a player better suited for, you know, a different league or a different club.
Yeah, okay. It's probably a case of potential, but at some point that potential needs to be realised, doesn't it?
But I mean, potentially, what is he, 25, 26 now?
Yeah.
So at what age do you stop talking about potential?
Yeah.
You know, there's got to be a limit. You know, we can't say, oh, he's going to come good, because we know in football you don't really have the time nowadays. And we're talking managers, of course, but players are the same. You know, you can't keep saying the same thing over and over again.
When do you think you were in your pomp? When do you reckon you were playing your best stuff?
Probably early in my career, in all fairness. I mean, I scored maybe 30 goals in my first three years. You know, if a young kid does that nowadays, I think we'll be speaking about him as the best in the world. So I probably wasn't the same player after I had my injuries. Still had a decent career, I still done well, still always thought I was better than the other person. But it happens in football, I think, because we have like a self-proclaimed, you know, unbelievable confidence in ourselves. I mean, I always back myself. So I was probably better early doors. Career probably faltered for the injuries. I mean, I've had so many injuries.
What was the big one? What was the one injury do you think that took its toll the most?
I mean, well, I done my knee, didn't I? So I mean, pretty early in my career, I would have been 20, 21, 22. So you're thinking my career was maybe before that.
Yeah.
And it does pain me to say I killed, but I've still done okay in all fairness. But I probably lost. I was never really the quickest. I probably lost a little bit of pace as well. I mean, I would always score goals. I'd always back that. But I just probably wasn't as sharp or quick. And I think that probably ruined my career, actually. Can we just go back and see how good are these shots, by the way?
Have a look at these. We've got 2 10-footers here for birdie, by the way. Right, I don't want to alarm anybody, but Robbie, this is for back-to-back birdies, you know. And we've had no retakes, you know.
No, I know, yeah.
No cheating. Not like on my YouTube
channel. Have you ever had back-to-back before?
I think once, maybe.
Oof. Oof.
And my putting is horrific. Oh, it's so bad. Tell you what, it's not bad though, you know.
That's a good effort, to be fair.
Yeah, even though you stood across my line, it's fine.
I know, but yeah, I didn't want to stand there, but I was told to.
Come on, Robbie, sink it, please.
This will be nice, won't it? Oh, a little bit.
Hey, it's not bad though. It's a gimme, mate. It's a little tap in par.
Yeah.
You never knock a little tap in par, you know.
I go, you didn't see that,
I'll give it, yeah. I'll give it, yeah. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I can't even do that, look.
Okay, evolution of the game then. There's no number 9s anymore, Robbie. Would you enjoy playing in the modern game?
Honestly, yes. I mean, I love the game. So, I mean, different eras, different times, different formations, different tactics, of course, but I still love the game. So I still feel as though, you know, I would be... I feel as though I'd be good now, because obviously it is different now. You know, you look at, you know, tactics, formations, and it comes down to academy football, doesn't it, as well? It's how you sort of were brought up. Now, and obviously you're a goalkeeper, but years ago in academy football, there was always 2 strikers.
4-4-2.
Yeah, I mean that was stable, wasn't it? It was we knew what to expect. You sort of knew how you can play off the big man. But again, I spoke before about being the product of the environment. So you are comfortable in that position. But clever players can handle whatever's in front of them.
Yeah.
Now, years ago, people used to say to me, with Michael Owen, you can't play together because you're very alike and you're small. My argument to that was good players can play anywhere and good players can adapt. So I'd like to think, with obviously the game was years and years ago to what it is now, it is different. But I think we adapt and we suit our game to whatever the situation is. Yeah. And I think it's down to formations. Obviously, a lot of teams now play with obviously that one up front, obviously with a striker likes to drop deep. It's probably easier for a defender because if you're a defender, you know, you're happy with seeing a
forward. It's all in front of you there.
Yeah, always, because you're sort of quite comfortable. But if you've got a striker on the shoulder, now maybe it's a striker in a 2 or even a 1. If you're playing on the shoulder, then it puts maybe
Jamie Vardy.
It puts an element of doubt on defenders because you're looking over the shoulders all the time. Now, the modern day trait for a defender is, look, you know, I'm happy. And obviously you get runners and everyone can run with the runners, but you can see it. And it's so comfortable now for a lot of defenders. I mean, obviously some of them are still brilliant. But that is probably the big evolution, whereas years ago we played with a 2. We played with a sense of knowing that, you know, if we can get on this side of the defender, we can sort of create problems and spaces. Now you look at the game now again, if that striker keeps dropping deep as a you know, a central striker, or, you know, a lone striker, and he's dropping deep, well, he's in the position that, you know, maybe the number 10 or maybe one of the inverted wingers can get into. So I don't understand that part of the game.
Do you think it'll all come back round again?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think it does. But we can get hung up and sort of, you know, have so many conversations about tactics and formations. But you know, the fact of the matter is, so whatever's set out in terms of maybe a 4-2-3-1 or you know, a 3-4-3, if one player moves 5 yards, the game changes. Yeah. And I think that's probably what we don't sort of speak about that much. So you'll have like a formation to start with, but with coaching now, you sort of give the players a little bit of ownership to say, well, look, if you go into this position, you come over, it changes. So that is maybe an evolution change in football. It's not like set in stone how you should play. Yeah. You know, players are given like a little bit of a license to
do something, express a bit more.
Yeah.
To make sure there's a winner, because we don't want it to be all square at the end if you win this hole, we're going to go double points for the final hole, okay?
Okay, so it's going to be 2-1 or 3-0.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Right, mine to go first. It's par 5. I've got the big boy out, mate.
Yeah.
427 yards.
Just seeing what your ball was. See, I've got into his head already there, haven't I? See?
Little tailor-made, don't worry. You'll see it again in about 300 yards up there. I think it'll work.
Yeah, no, that's okay, that. Yeah, no, you'll take that. Good shot.
Oh, it's perfect, mate. Sorry, I'll be able to get through that gap, won't you?
I'll take it.
Damn right you'll take it as well. I asked you a minute ago whether you would want to play in the modern game, but what do you think it would be like trying to deal with all the other pressures that come with being a footballer, social media, the spotlight?
Yeah, I mean, it is totally different, isn't it? We know that, but I mean, you know what, it doesn't bother me, to be fair. Obviously, if you're sensible in your approach to anything, you're okay, aren't you? I think years ago we were left to maybe our own devices, and I mean, you could go out, no one would bother you now, but the football now and the football players now, I mean, they're essentially film stars, aren't they? Yeah. Whereas now, years ago, we were probably allowed to do what we wanted to, within reason, obviously. There's an approach for how you want to sort of bring your team into environments that, you know, is right for the players. Now, for me, if you've got a dressing room full of, you know, 22 robots, then, you know, for me, that's not a great dressing room. Years ago, where, you know, we had a laugh, we had a joke, when the time is right, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think we sort of can get sort of hung up on the fact is that, you know, players are too too professional is the wrong word, but players are maybe too focused on the game, whereas you do need to have a little bit of downtime.
Do you think there's characters missing nowadays? Because you think about some of the players that you used to play with, real big characters, big personalities.
Yeah, no, I think characters is probably a great shout, actually. And I think that is missing. Not saying that there is none in the game now, but there's probably less. There's probably less than what it was. And I get it. I think people are maybe scared to sort of say and do what they want to because they'll get, criticised so much with the age of the social media, the pundits and everything. So I'd love to do it. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to play the game now. I'd love to play the game anytime, but what's right years ago doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong now.
Yeah.
I think that there's a place for a dressing room for bringing characters in.
So you've got 240 yards to go, mate. You're
Yeah,
laying
no,
it up,
I can't reach with this mate. I'm just going to try and pump it down there.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, that was flying as well.
It was flying as well. It's fine, middle of fairway.
Yeah.
That's unlucky that you just clipped that last little overhanging branch.
Good strike though, I was happy with that.
I mentioned the quadruple at the beginning of the show. In the Champions League, 6 wins from 6.
Yes.
Only conceded 1 goal. It's nice to see for Liverpool, isn't it?
It's been brilliant. I mean, we spoke before about the season Liverpool are having, how good they are in the Premier League. The Champions League is, we know it's a different format. We know it's maybe, I mean, it'll probably even itself out, won't it, in terms of our, the format is different, totally different.
Yeah.
You're not playing everyone, so it's a little bit Super League-y, isn't it?
I think we've got to just wait to see, haven't we? I think once we get to the end of it, we'll have seen how it all pans out, really. But I think I'm quite enjoying it because you know that there's going to be a big game every single Champions League week.
I mean, I'm not won over it just yet.
Yeah.
Because I think there may be like a little bit of a dead rubber towards the end of it, and that will, again, that'll pan out, and we know that. But I'm enjoying it because Liverpool are top, and Liverpool look good. They've played some tough games. I mean, not a lot was said about Liverpool's performance against Leverkusen, actually. I mean, we've seen Leverkusen the season they had last year, how good
team,
they were.
yeah.
I mean, Liverpool beat them 4-0, and they're doing okay again this year, Leverkusen. So the 1 goal they have conceded was ironically their first game, and it was 1-0 down against AC Milan in Milan. So, again, they've been measured in their approach to sort of how they've gone about their Champions League business, and it's great being a Liverpool fan.
It's nice to see then that Liverpool are currently the favourites to win the Champions League.
I didn't know that, to be honest. I mean, when I can see it now that you've said it. 'Cause obviously, Real Madrid have struggled a little bit. Barcelona look a decent team again, don't they? City have struggled. And there's a few teams. PSG have struggled. So the connotations of who's going to get into the qualification, the knockout stages, I should say, is it'll be interesting.
You mentioned Man City there. Where did you ever see this coming, Robbie?
Not at all, no. I mean, I love Pep. I think he's brilliant. When you talk about coaches over the years, coaches in the history of football, I know people say, he's had money to spend, but you've still got to go out in there and you bring the best out of the players. Man City, look, there's something happening internally. We know there's maybe conversations to be had. I think everyone at home sort of knows that, but I don't think anyone could have envisaged what's happened. I mean, you know what, and I know I'm back to the Premier League, I know the miles off the Premier League, but you can see them going on a run, Man City, because of the manager, because of the players that they've got. They have got that in the capabilities, and they'd like nothing better than to put in a good run and a good show, and certainly in the Champions League, because they are a team who know how to get performances and results when it matters.
And back to the Premier League quickly then. 4 points clear, a game in hand. Is it as easy as everybody seems to think it's going to be?
I don't think it'll be easy. I mean, I genuinely think Liverpool will win it. I mean, I think there's points to be dropped by a lot of teams in the Premier League. Arsenal included. Again, they've been very good in terms of some of the results and the performance they've had. I mean, it's Liverpool's to lose. We know that. If Liverpool were to lose, I wouldn't say, it's
Spotless.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Absolutely not. But I think Liverpool are in a great position. We know that 4 points clear, game in hand, and I do think teams in and around them will drop points as well. So the game in hand, they win that game. Arsenal have got to win 3 more games than what Liverpool have. So of course they have got it within the realms. But then you think, can Liverpool lose the 3 games? And you think that might be the it's a tougher obstacle for them.
Beautiful, mate. You know what? I'm going to go for it.
Oh, what a strike that is.
Tell you what, it's drawing absolutely unbelievably well and all.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, it's a little bit short though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only a little bit short.
Yeah.
Right, what's next for you then, Robbie? You've done a bit of all sorts, haven't you? You've been a coach,
Yes.
You've been a manager, you've been all over the world, done TV work.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mentioned before I love the game, and for me, my next protocol is getting back in as a head coach, as a manager. I love that side of football. Obviously I can't play anymore, so for me that is the next best thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great doing the television. It's great being on Amazon. We talk about the football. We talk about the Champions League, and early on I've done a few Premier League games as well. So I love all that. But for me, I want to get back in as a head coach. And of course, I've never managed in this country. I've had 4 spells overseas and done really, really well in all of them. So people may be thinking I'm inexperienced, but I mean, if you sort of sit and analyse and look at my career as certainly a head coach, I'm probably one of the most inexperienced coaches in people's eyes. I mean, I went overseas because I sort of wanted to do it properly. I wanted to go. I mean, I've got my pro license. I've got a football. I've got a diploma in sports management. So I've got every coach.
All your badges?
Yeah, I've got every single one. And I've worked hard to get them. And maybe people don't know that. People maybe think he's not serious.
Yeah,
but
you haven't paid your dues.
Yeah, but I've went overseas and I've done the hard yards, if you like. Yeah. I've went and shown people that I'm prepared to go out of my comfort zone to do what I want to do, and I've loved it. Obviously, I'd love to manage in this country. Don't get me wrong, but if an opportunity comes to go overseas again, I'll do it.
What's one of the biggest skills you need as a manager in the modern day?
I'm big into man management. I think that is probably for me the biggest, because look, every player is different, but I sort of felt better under a man manager. I played with managers who were technically, tactically brilliant. My management style was brilliant. But for me, I think everyone now, you need to have that technical ability. You need to have that tactical nous. But if you're a good manager, I think the players appreciate that.
Which manager was the best for you at doing
me,
that?
I love playing under Roy Evans. Roy Evans was brilliant because his man management style was, look, if you go out there and play the way you can do, then teams will maybe struggle to compete against you. Now, look, you do need to have a little bit of technical and tactical now. That's fairly obvious. But if you're that manager who brings out a little bit more of the players, then you go out there and you feel unbeatable. Now, I think one of the traits that we see now is we get a lot of managers do a lot of work on the opposition, and it's brilliant to do that. But I think you should always finish on the good that you do. You come out of a room thinking,
good to go,
unbeatably. If you do too much work on the opposition and leave it at that, then you think you're playing, Brazil or Real Madrid every single week, regardless of what level you're playing. I'm also big in delegation as well, so I don't claim to know everything, and I think any manager who claims to know everything, I mean, you're on a little bit of a downward spiral there, because you don't know everything. And I think every day you are learning, regardless of what level of management you are. I mean, Pep Guardiola will tell you he's learning every single day. But I think that's probably what you need. I think if you're a manager who surrounds himself with yes men, not for me. No, but it's delegation and understanding, people's roles are different. So obviously I know what I want to do, but also you also need to know that you've got to get people around you who are better at do
what you're good at, and let other people do what they're good at.
And I know that maybe sounds fairly obvious in terms of your approach in football, but to me it's the right way. Yeah, it really is. Do you want to give us a distance there, Ben?
Yeah, sweet, isn't it? All right.
I'm saying that's about 148 there.
126.
Right, well, I'll go.
Only 20 yards off, it's fine.
Yeah, that's all right, that.
Oh, I tell you what, it's coming in nice as well. If that's the number...
that's unbelievable, that.
If that's the number...
That's, you know what it is? I call that a telly shot.
Right, let's put the ball away, mate. Let's talk about golf, yeah?
Yes.
Football's boring. You love your golf, don't you?
People say to you all the time, if you could go and do your career again, would you do it? And of course I would. But you know, if I had to play golf or football, I think I would choose golf, you know.
No, you would not.
I think I would.
Would you trade your career, your Liverpool Premier League career, right?
No, I wouldn't. But I mean, I know what you're saying, but that's not the question or the statement I was making. I say I've had an unbelievable career and I've done it. And look, I would have liked to have had more. But if I could go and do something again, I think I would choose golf over football. You know what?
Imagine chasing the sun around. Like 10 months a year, just chasing the sun around the world, playing on the best courses.
Sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Oh, I think I'm with you, mate. I reckon I'll do the same as well. Mate, that's an absolute belter is what that is. Look at this, I've plugged here as well. If I ain't plugging, that's going all the way. In the summer, we're on the green. This is my third shot, okay? Your birdie putting. Go on, go, 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 go.
I mean, it wasn't clean, was it?
It wasn't clean, was it?
No.
It was scared is what it was. Right, we're on, yeah?
Yep, all the best, mate.
All the best.
Oh, I've got a chance, I've got a chance.
It's for the win, that is, you know.
See, I've got to really hit this, haven't I?
You may as well, mate. If you leave it short, do not leave it short, basically.
No, I won't leave it short. Went for it, didn't I?
I like it, I don't mind that. So what does that mean then? We share the hole, a point each. We're going to have to be, haven't it?
I'm happy with that. It's my first game back.
Do you know who I think the winner was today? Golf.
Golf. I like that,
Golf
I like
was the
that.
winner.
And you know who the winner is? Go. Honestly, it's you because I've got to give you a tenner.
Yes, yeah. You got 10 on you, by the way?
I have, but yeah, I only carry 20s.
Brilliant, mate.
Pleasure, mate. Well
Appreciate
done,
that.
mate.
Thanks for having me down.
No, thanks for having me.
Should we do it again, but somewhere a bit warmer next time, yeah?
Sounds like a plan.
Should we go and get coffee?
Yeah, coffee? Yeah, come on.
How good was that? I could have played 18 holes and it'd have absolutely flown by. And you get to watch Robbie's Liverpool when they take on Lille, only on Prime Sport. We all live in a Robbie Fowler house, a Robbie Fowler house, with my £20. We all live in a Robbie Fowler house, with my £20.